You're watching NSPN.TV, the Neighborhood Sports Network. Coverage is made possible by your local McDonald's owners and operators, offering competitive wages, paid time off, and tuition assistance. And by the Star Tribune, your home for the best prep coverage. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wayzata High School as we get you set for a top 6 showdown as the number 6 STMA Knights travel to take on the Wayzata Trojans. It is the Lake Conference here on NSPN, and we got a good one for you as it's number 6 STMA and number 5 Wayzata. Let's start with the Knights. They come in with a record of 13-4 on the season. They are 3-1 in the Lake Conference, coached by Kent Hamry in his 19th season as the head coach. He's been with this program for 22 years. STMA having to deal without Jacayla Kraft and Ava House, the two seniors that graduated last year. They've done a pretty good job, and leading the way is Kale Johnke, the 6'1 junior guard, averaging 18.3 points per game, and her counterpart is Abby Hazelton, who's averaging 16.1 points per game in her senior season. STMA looking to pull the upset here on the road as the number 6th ranked team in the state. As for Wayzata, they come in with a record of 13-4, 4-1 in the Lake Conference. They are the number 1 team in the conference. They played one more game than STMA this season, and they are riding high after beating number 1 Hopkins for the first time since 1998 on the road at Hopkins High School just a couple games ago. Wayzata put themselves in a good position here at the top of the Lake Conference. Their last time out, they beat Lakeville North, the number 9 ranked team, 68-32 in a pretty convincing win. That was a neutral floor site at Cretin-Durham Hall High School. And the Trojans are led by Sophie Hawkinson, the North Dakota State commit in her senior year, averaging 19.4 points per game. She's averaging 1 point more in conference play this year, as Wayzata has beaten Edina Hopkins in the conference. Their only loss in conference play came to Eden Prairie. That was on the road. They lost 81-73, but they're riding a 3-game win streak. Sophie Hawkinson coming off of a career-high 34 points a couple games ago against the Hornets. Her counterpart is Annika Kieser, averaging 9.8 points per game in her sophomore season. She's been outstanding this year, taking a leap from her freshman to sophomore year. And also a player to keep an eye on is number 3, Marin Day, averaging 9.2 points per game as a sophomore as well. This series has been a fun one. The last few years, they've split 1-1, both teams winning on their home floor. Last year, Wayzata winning 71-58 on this floor. STMA winning on their home floor 82-69. Should be a good one coming up next here on NSPN. We'll have starters for you, followed by opening tip here from Wayzata High School. It's number 6 and number 5 here on NSPN.
We are the Minnesota Star Tribune. We're not a paper, we're a fabric. One that can unite, incense, connect, frustrate, represent, and reflect all of us. It's the faces you may know. It's the voices you may not have heard. It's major, minor, urban, rural, left, right, and center field. Because all the state's a stage, and everyone plays their part. The Minnesota Star Tribune, the heart and voice of the North.
Tonight's Lake Conference girls basketball game features our guests, the Knights from St. Michael Albertville High School, and your Wayzata Trojans. At this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able. Remove your hats and face the American flag at the south end of the gym as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. For the Trojans, at forward, a 6-foot senior, number 11, Allie Burns. For STMA at guard, a 5'5" freshman, number 23, Kaylee Midolki. And for Wayzata at guard, a 5'8" senior, number 12, Sophie Hawkinson. For the Knights at guard, a 5'8" senior, number 24, Emma Erickson. And for the Trojans at guard, a 5'9" sophomore, number 24, Annika Kieser. For STMA at guard, a 6-foot senior, number 25, Abby Hoselton. And for Wayzata at forward, a 6'2" senior, number 41, Katie Kelsenberg. The Knights are led by head coach Ken Camry and come into the game with an overall record of 13 wins, 4 losses. Wayzata is led by head coach Julie Stewart, and the Trojans come into the game with an overall record of 15 wins and 4 losses. The officials for tonight's game are Tony Schrimper, Dana Redlake, and Aaron.
And so we're all set to go here from Wayzata High School, Hogan Greenwood. Pleased to be joined by Steve Bonsack, and it's number 5 Wayzata versus number 6 STMA. Wayzata will be in the home blue. STMA will be in the road white. Starters have been announced. Let's get them to you now. Marin Day, Allie Burns, Sophie Hawkinson, Annika Kieser, and Katie Kelsenberg for the Trojans. Kale Johnke, Haley Walben, Kaylee Begulke, Ella Erickson, and Abby Hasselton for the Knights. We mentioned Kent Hamry in his 19th season at the helm for STMA. Wayzata has had Julie Stewart for the past 4 seasons, and she's done a tremendous job with this Wayzata team, really bringing that defensive mindset. And Wayzata likes to force a ton of turnovers. We'll see how STMA can handle the pressure here on the road. First game of this series here in 2025, and we are underway as Wayzata wins the opening tap. Sophie Hawkinson will run the show up top. The facilitator on the floor is a sharpshooter, can knock down jumpers from deep as well. And an early turnover for Wayzata as Annika Kieser throws it away. Wayzata on the year averaging 71.1 points per game. STMA just a little shy of that number. And here comes the full court pressure as well. Wayzata likes to do this, speed up their opponent, wreak havoc. STMA does get it across the timeline, and they do turn it over. No, they did not. It was blocked out of play by Wayzata, so STMA will have it on the baseline. Ella Erickson, the 5'8" senior, will trigger in for STMA. Get it into Kale Johnke, and she knocks down the first bucket of the game for the Knights. Here's Marin Day in the corner. And a foul on Johnke on the perimeter. That's going to be an early foul on STMA's best player. Johnke, as we mentioned in the open, averaging just a shade over 18 points per game, just a junior at 6'1". She's going to have many looks at the next level in the year to come. There's a duck in Kelsenberg, and that was partially blocked down low. STMA gets the stop, and here come the Knights setting up shop in the offensive end. Three off the mark from Begulke. Hawkinson looking to push the pace. Kieser bounces it for Burns. And a good play in transition as Wayzata strikes for the first time tonight. Johnke gets inside for 2, and a good response for the Knights. Kale Johnke's got all 4. And as we mentioned, STMA trying to navigate this season without two of their best players from last year's team, Jakayla Kraft, who had 32 points in one of the games last year against Wayzata, and also Ava House, who graduated. Hawkinson, a high arcing three, is down. And Wayzata has their first lead of the night. Sophie Hawkinson, 19.4 points per game, 20.4 in conference play this year. Haley Walbun had it knocked away. This is Hazelton, second leading scorer for STMA on the year. Shot clock winding down. Ella Erickson is blocked. Shot clock at 3. Gonna have to make something happen. It's Bagalki out for Hazelton, and that's off the mark. Hawkinson gets the foul as she crosses the timeline. STMA reaching in there. Nearly a travel for Hawkinson. Foul came first, and it's going to be on Haley Walbun. That's going to be her first. Marin Day dumping it in. Allie Burns outside Hawkinson. Hawkinson probing. Kelsenberg is going to launch and hit a three. That's a welcome sight for the Trojans. Kelsenberg, not normally a three-point shooter, but knocks one down early. And it's a 4-point advantage for Wayzata. Walbun on the drive, and a whistle is going to put Wayzata with their first team foul. Katie Kelsenberg, a career-high 25 points just a few games ago. She's coming off of a 15-point performance in the win against Lakeville North. Sophie Hawkinson had 23 points in that game against the Panthers, and she's been on a tear of late. 3 of her last 4 games have been 23+. Walbun off on a 3. Offensive rebound for Erickson, but it's knocked away. Marin Day looking to run. Hawkinson for 2. And it's a 6-point lead for the Trojans. STMA breaks the pressure. Bagalki will launch and knock down a 3. Kaylee Bagalki, the freshman, averaging 6.5 points per game this year. And Marin Day lost it out of play. It's going to be another turnover for the Trojans. We'll see our first substitution of the game. It's Lindsay Harvey, number 10 in blue, in for the Trojans. In for the Knights, it's number 21, J.C. Bryan. Bryan only has played 6 games this year, averaging just under 5 points per game in those 6 appearances. Kale Johnke off the bounce. High arcing 3 is good. And we are tied up at 10. Kale Johnke's got an early 7. And Abby Hazelton with the steal. Hazelton in the corner. Johnke will launch. Short on a 3. Kelsenberg clears the board. Wayzata looking to run. Marin Day up ahead. Extra pass for Hawkinson. Had a notion for 3. Inside for Kelsenberg, and she gets the whistle. Wayzata likes to play fast if they can. So 1 foul each early on for STMA's 2 best players, Johnke and Hazelton. Kelsenberg at the line, knocks down the first. A much improved free throw shooter this year. Worked on it quite a bit in the offseason. A 2-sport athlete. Won a few championships on the volleyball team here at Wayzata as well. A couple bodies go crashing to the floor as Kelsenberg splits a pair. Quickly up ahead for STMA. Bagalki reigns in a 3 from the corner. And the Knights reclaim the lead. Kelsenberg gets it across the timeline. Here's Marin Day on the drive and flips it up and in. Count it, and the foul. Marin Day will have a chance at a three-point play.
Basket's good for the Trojans. Number 3, Marin Day. She's at the line. Fouls on number 41 for STMA, Kaylin Foster.
Number 41, Kaylin Foster, into the game, and she picks up the foul. Number 41 in white, Marin Day at the line. Offensive rebound, Kelsenberg. Johnke doesn't want to pick up a second, and Kelsenberg puts it in. So Wayzata back in front, 15-13, as Mallory Macbeth is into the game, number 22 in blue. She's been a revelation this year as a freshman coming off the bench for head coach Julie Stewart. Johnke fired a pass looking for Bagalki. It ricocheted off her and out of play. STMA turnover. Kelsenberg traveled with it up top. And it's going to be the third turnover for the Trojans here tonight. As Allie Burns returns, Kelsenberg with some good minutes. She's got 6 points early on. She will go to the bench. 12:42 to go in this opening half. It's Wayzata with a 2-point lead. Open shooter, Bagalki. In and out on a triple. Hawkinson, the lead feed for Lindsay Harvey, who runs it down, knocked away by Johnke, and Wayzata will keep it on this end of the floor. Mallory Macbeth, in her freshman season, averaging 5.5 points per game. Younger sister of Wyatt Macbeth, who we mentioned throughout the year, is a standout on the boys basketball team. Mallory Macbeth has been tremendous this year in her first year on varsity. Get it into Allie Burns, try to put it on the deck, lost it, and we're going to get a tie-up in the paint, and the arrow is in favor of the Knights. So that'll be the fourth turnover of the first half for Wayzata, as Keyser returns, and Ellie Howard is in for the first time tonight for the Trojans, number 33 in blue. Johnke, short jumper, no good. Rebound got tapped out to the perimeter. Hawkinson picks it up, and a foul in the backcourt on the Knights. Foul's going to go on Ella Erickson. It's already 5 team fouls for the Knights here in this first half, just 1 for Wayzata. Scores table just making sure they got everything in order. That's why we had a minor stoppage there. Back to live action. Hawkinson working out of the post. Outside for Howard, wide open three. Offensive rebound for Lindsay Harvey, and the stick back is good. Lindsay Harvey has been a bright spot off the bench, not only working hard on the defensive end, but contributes on the offensive end there as well. Johnke short on the jumper. Rebound on the floor. It's Keyser. And a tie-up will give it to Wayzata. Julie Stewart not afraid to play her underclassmen. Marin Day and Annika Keyser, both as freshmen last year, played quite a bit. Had some valuable experience that allowed them to excel here in their sophomore year, and that's what Mallory Macbeth has been seeing this year as well. Hawkinson gets the screen. Harvey up top. Back for Hawkinson. Shot clock at 15. Howard flashes. Back out for Hawkinson. Under 10 to go. Howard comes to get it. Feed it down low for Burns. Plus the foul. Allie Burns will have a chance at a 3-point play. Ella Erickson picks up her second. And Allie Burns cashes in from the line. Wayzata leads 20-13. They're currently on a 9-0 run after STMA took the lead 13-11 on a triple out of the corner. Abby Hazelton yet to score tonight. Here's Walbin out of the corner, and she traveled. Took steps before she put the ball on the deck. That's 3 turnovers now for STMA. Lindsay Harvey will handle it into the front court. Hawkinson had it knocked away by Hazelton. Able to recover. Harvey tried to dump it down for Burns. Hazelton stepped in front. Hazelton a step through and gets it to go. Her first field goal of the night. And it's back to 5. Keyser open but missed it. And Hazelton controls the rebound. Hazelton spinning. Outside for Johnke, sets her feet and splashes in a 3. A 5-0 run for the Knights. Wayzata quickly down the other end. It's Annika Keyser after a made bucket. Wayzata likes to run, as we mentioned. Even after a made basket, they'll run in transition and score. Keyser, that's her first points of the night. Backdoor look. Hazelton, double teamed. They swing it. Open 3 for Foster off the heel. Hazelton hits the floor hard. And a hush comes over the crowd as Abby Hazelton is slow to get up. Athletic trainer out to check on Abby Hazelton. Will step aside here from Wayzata High School. Hazelton able to walk off under her own power with a little bit of assistance. She had been playing well the last few minutes, getting deflections and getting her first bucket of the game, but she will go to the bench and get checked on by the trainer. We hope she is all right. Number 21, J.C. Bryan, will check back in for her. Number 14, Kaya Nash into the ballgame for the first time for the Trojans. Number 14 in blue. She's been another underclassman that's been a bright spot off the bench. 5.5 points per game for Kaya Nash. Wayzata by 4 as Ellie Howard launches a 3. Rebound taken by Bagalki. Push up ahead for Bryan. Picked up her dribble on the baseline. Defended by Howard, and you don't want to reach in there if you're Ellie Howard. Had her trapped. But that'll be the second team foul for the Trojans. Just past the midway point of this opening half. 8:48 to go in the first. Wayzata 22-18 lead in our top 6 showdown between number 5 Wayzata and number 6 STMA. Bryan will trigger in. Now it's Johnke up top. Into the corner for Kaylin Foster. Walben comes to get it. 15 on the shot clock. And a travel. Kaylin Foster shuffled the feet. And that'll be the 4th turnover for the Knights. Hawkinson on the bench right now as Ella Goodnature's in for the first time. Feed it for Marin Day. Draws a double outside for Kai Nash on a shot fake. Marin Day a long 2. Off the front of the rim. Rebound for Kelsenberg. Did not get the putback to go. And the rebound for STMA as another Knights player is down. And this time it's Kaylin Foster, the freshman. Might have hit her head on the floor going after that rebound. Head coach Kent Hamry out there with the athletic trainer. It looks like that she's going to be all right. Might need a few minutes to gather herself. So a couple players out of this game, at least momentarily, for STMA. Abby Hazelton on the bench along with Kaylin Foster now. We'll check on their status as the game goes along. 8:05 remaining in this first half. 22-18, Wayzata in front. A big game here in the Lake Conference tonight. Wayzata has played one more game in the league to this point. They are 4-1 in the Lake. STMA 3-1 in the conference. Walben off the bounce. Picked it up. Now it's Ella Erickson up top for Walben. Shot clock down to 15. Johnke drives. And a whistle and a foul. It's going to go on Marin Day. That'll be her first. And Kale Johnke will shoot 2. Johnke already in double figures tonight with 10 points. Hawkinson returns for Kaya Nash. Johnke knocks down a pair. It's back to a one-possession game. Kelsenberg is tied up as Haley Walben sticks her nose in there, and it's a jump ball, and the arrow is in favor of the Knights, so STMA will get the ball back. That's already 6 first-half turnovers for Wayzata here tonight. It's currently a 7-2 run for St. Michael Albertville. Chance to tie or retake the lead here on this possession. Erickson had a notion for 3, nearly threw it away. Not on the same page there with Bryan. Picked up by Johnke. Deep in the shot clock. Walben back to Bryan. Drives. Blocked by Burns. Ball on the floor. And it's going to be a shot clock violation. A great defensive set by the Trojans in the half court. And they'll get the basketball back with 6:44 to go in the half. Dump it down low for Marin Day. She missed in tight. And the rebound to Bagalki. Johnke flashes. This one thrown away, but a deflection. So the Knights will keep it. Ella Erickson will trigger in for St. Michael Albertville. Tried to bounce it for Johnke, and she couldn't handle the pass. It's 5 turnovers for STMA. And we're stuck at 22-20 with 6:20 to go in the half. Hogan Greenwood live here from Wayzata High School with Steve Bonsack. A big one in the Lake Conference as it's knocked away by Hawkinson. And over the back is the call. Wayzata fans up in arms about that. Julie Stewart looking for an explanation as well. Thought Wayzata, or rather STMA, deflected that basketball, but instead it's going to be 7 turnovers now for the Trojans. And STMA throws it away. Up ahead for Annika Kieser, and she uses the off arm to discard the defender, and it's an offensive foul. So a couple of interesting possessions the last minute or two. Hawkinson with the knockaway. And she comes up with the steal. Finds a cutting Marin Day. Picked up a dribble on the baseline, nearly traveled. And we got a whistle here. Looks like something to do with the clock. Shot clock they're checking on with 5:52 to go. Shot clock is currently at 19. I believe the officials are just checking to see if it reset to 30 or not. It's going to be Wayzata basketball underneath nonetheless. So they're going to reset it to 29 seconds. And Lindsey Harvey's back on the floor. Hawkinson took a spill and gave it away. Here comes J.C. Bryan leading the break. Wayzata gets back in transition. And that 3 out of the corner is good for Kaylee Bagalki. And the Knights retake the lead, 23-22. Bagalki's got 9 points tonight. Burns on a handoff to Day. Picked up her dribble, high post. Burns out of the corner. Kelsenberg comes to get it. The runner in the lane is deflected. Day able to keep it alive. Batted around Hawkinson and a foul. Bagalki will pick it up. That is the 7th team foul, so 1-1, and free throws to come for Sophie Hawkinson. Good sight to see if you're an STMA fan. Abby Hazelton back on the floor. 1-1 for Hawkinson, and she'll get a second free throw. Hawkinson's up to 6 points. She had 5 quick points and had a long field goal drought until she gets a point here. In and out on the second. Offensive rebound for Kelsenberg, and the putback is good. And Wayzata reclaims the lead 25-23 here with 5 minutes to play. Johnke's been involved quite a bit here offensively. This is a 3 from Ella Erickson off the back iron, and the rebound to Kelsenberg. Quickly into the front court for Marin Day. Hawkinson fumbled the pass, and it's picked up by Kelsenberg, and we're going to get a tie-up. Arrow is in favor of Wayzata, so they'll keep it. 28 to shoot. Macbeth back on the floor for Burns. Hawkinson an open look. In and out for three. Another offensive rebound for Kelsenberg, and she follows it up and in. 10 points now for Katie Kelsenberg into double figures. Bogolki out of the corner, and that's her spot tonight as she knocks down another three. Bogolki's got 12. Hawkinson on the drive. Kelsenberg from the short corner, a little too strong, and the rebound taken by Jonke. Erickson down the lane, and she gets fouled by Marin Day. That'll be her second. And Bogolki will go to the line.
Fouls on Wayzata's number 11, Allie Burns. That's her first. Team's fifth. Timeout, Wayzata.
Wayzata will take a timeout. We'll step aside as well. 3:41 to go. It's Trojans leading the Knights 27-26 here on NSPN. We'll step out.
Support your teams and community with NSPN.TV. Enjoy exclusive coverage from summer town ball to high school championships. Plus, feature stories and podcasts that bring you closer to the action. Stay connected with NSPN.TV, your neighborhood sports network.
Back here from Wayzata High School. Trojans leading by one. STMA this year, after losing 2 games early in the season to Monticello and Chaska, went on a 7-game win streak before losing 2 out of their last 3 to date. They lost to the number 1 team in the state, Maple Grove, 78-47, and then lost to Hopkins, 82-53. So a couple of blowouts there for STMA. Had a win against Edina sandwiched in between, but trying to pick up a win here in the Lake Conference tonight on the road. Talked about it in the open. This series between STMA and Wayzata has been a split the last couple of seasons. Both teams winning on their home floor last year and the year before. You have to go back to the 2021-22 season in which one of these teams swept. That was STMA. And then they split in 2020-2021. Back in the 19-20 season, Wayzata swept the series, so it's been a pretty fairly even series the last few years, with the exception of 2 sweeps, 1 for each team. Ella Erickson at the line. In and out on the second, but an offensive rebound for Abby Hazelton. And a second chance for the Knights. Pick and roll for Jonke, a little too strong off glass. Tapped out to Hawkinson. Had her head down, did not see Marin Day run on the floor. She'll back it out. Bogolki defending one-on-one. Hawkinson gets a step, and she traveled. Wayzata's been a little sloppy here tonight. They got 9 first-half turnovers. Trojans will go zone here defensively. J.C. Bryan, a high arcing 3 is good. That's her first field goal of the night. 30-27, the Knights take the lead. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Dump down for Kelsenberg, and that one bounces out. Hazelton just with 2 points tonight. She drives and scores. The blow-by for Abby Hazelton, and it's a 5-point advantage for the Knights. Kelsenberg draws a crowd. Back out for Hawkinson, and she splashes in a 3. And a big shot for the Trojans to get back within a possession. Erickson out of the corner. Could not answer, and the rebound taken by Harvey. Hawkinson's up to 9 points as we hit 2 minutes to play in the half. Kelsenberg picked up her dribble. Back outside for Hawkinson. A deep three. In and out. And it's knocked out of play by Kale Jonke. Ellie Howard back on the floor along with Allie Burns. Marin Day cutting to the basket, and we're tied at 32. Erickson into the corner, a little too tall for Bogalki. And it's the 7th turnover for the Knights. And Kaylin Foster back on the floor for STMA after she exited with an injury a little bit earlier. So Hazelton and Foster have both returned. And a good sight to see for St. Michael Albertville. Trying to get it to Howard. And it knocked away. Marin Day able to recover, and Hawkinson comes to get it. She's left open, and that's in and out for 3. Rebound taken by Bryan on the baseline. Hazelton spinning in the paint. Picked up her dribble, back out for Jonke. Watched here by Marin Day. Under a minute to play. Jonke's shot was blocked. Allie Burns thought about a 3. Hawkinson in and out. She's gotten some good looks. Another offensive rebound for Kelsenberg. Hawkinson drives and scores off the glass. Hawkinson into double figures with 11. And the shot clock is off as Wayzata seesaws back in front. Bogalki took some contact, might have traveled. Here's Foster knifing through. And that's knocked out of play. 16.2 to go. Galen Foster will trigger in, and it's a 5-second call. Wayzata forces a turnover. So the Trojans will have the final shot of the half. Chance to add to their lead going into the break. 6 seconds to go. Hawkinson asking for a screen. Down to 2. Hawkinson turned it over, and that'll end the first half. Wayzata will take a 2-point lead into the break as they lead it at home 34-32. 11 first half points for Sophie Hawkinson. 2 in 12-digit figures for the Knights. It's Jonke with a dozen along with Kaylee Bogalki, but it's Wayzata leading by 2 at the half. We'll step aside. More action to come here on NSPN as we go to the break.
You're watching NSPN.TV, the Neighborhood Sports Network.
Up here, it's all about perspective. From the good life to the bad weather, the cities, the townships, the land, the water. It's the state we love to love. It's the state we hate to leave. Fly over? Do so at your own peril. Because perspective matters. And if it's happening down there, and over there, or up there, read about it here, and here, and all across here. This isn't Minnesota nice. This is Minnesota news, and we are the Minnesota Star Tribune. We're not a paper, we're a fabric, one that can unite and sense, connect, frustrate, represent, and reflect all of us. It's the faces you may know. It's the voices you may not have heard. It's major, minor, it's urban, rural, it's left, right, and center field. Because all the states a stage, and everyone plays their part. We are the Minnesota Star Tribune, the heart and voice of the North.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Back here from Wayzata High School, Hogan Greenwood alongside Steve Bonsack. 2-point lead for Wayzata at the break. The number 5 ranked Trojans leading over the number 6 ranked STMA Knights. A big one in the Lake Conference tonight here on NSPN, as Wayzata is atop the league at 4-1. STMA behind them with a 3-1 conference record. 12 first half points for Bagalki along with Kale Jonke. Those two have been pretty much the most offense STMA has had in that first half. Abby Hazelton's been quiet. She's got 4 points, but she's back on the floor after returning from injury early in that first half. Meanwhile, for Wayzata, a couple in double figures. Katie Kelsenberg with 10, Sophie Hawkinson with 11. Had 5 early points, then had a cold middle first half, then came back with 6 points to end the half. She's got 11. Wayzata looking for their 4th straight win, and they are looking to improve that home record to 6-1. They are 5-1 through 6 games here on this floor, with the lone loss coming to Maple Grove, looking to make it 6-1 here in the second half. We'll have Wayzata and St. Michael Albertville second half coming up next year in NSPN. But first, our MN feature of the week, and here is Justin Barrientos for more.
I'm here on the campus of the University of Minnesota for the 2025 State Debate Tournament. Now, this might not be the most attended, but it is the oldest and possibly the most socially important tournament that's put on by the Minnesota State High School League.
There's a sense of history because the Minnesota State Debate Tournament is the oldest state tournament that the High School League runs, starting in 1902. And in fact, it is one of the oldest state tournaments across the country. So the State High School League really made a commitment to this activity and has continued to do that. So we're in our 124th year of a state tournament, and I feel proud to be part of that history.
Debate will allow you to develop skills you might not learn anywhere else.
One of the niches of policy debate is that you can go really, really fast and you can talk really fast in speeches, which is both really fun and also can go really badly if you're not clear.
The Independent Authority agreed to comply. Restarting states already counteracted this government's failures of federal encroachment. Extinction, Milwaukee's 19.
I was pretty scared of public speaking. I think a lot of people are. And what our coaches told us is you need to almost act like you're playing a character, like you're playing someone who's really confident and well-informed. And I think that that's really helpful. And it's also nice if outside of round you're able to be relaxed and fun and having fun with your friends. And not being totally aggressive to everyone all the time.
A tactic to create a rally around the flag effect. We say that the more terrorism there is, the less stable the state becomes. Ethiopia was only one country who immediately walked it back. The fact that we saw short-term spikes means we should be incredibly wary of every single country in Africa recognizing the world.
There's something about that rhythmic speaking that brings me back to dance and what I used to do. So to me, it kind of feels like the passion can really show in a debate round.
The round was over when they conceded an extinction scenario off of our contention one. A 1% risk of extinction means you automatically vote negative because their impact is only 10,000, whereas ours is the entire world, and it's an automatic prerequisite.
There is a significant time commitment with debate.
It did just suck up all of my time. Like this past summer, we went to debate camp for 5 weeks. We were at nationals for a week before that, and we've been debating since the start of September. We won't finish debating.
That transition year is always so tough, right? You go from like a team who won the national championship, lost a lot of players, and a new coach. I mean, he was with the program, but like the transition is always tough. Does Michigan play Oregon next year? Do you know? Okay. That'll be good for them. I told Peter as well. Hawkinson, number 12, has got a lot of open threes that she's missed too for Wayzata. Some of the threes they're taking, they're like 5 feet back behind the arc. Yeah, true. They're almost shooting NBA ranges. Yeah. They're close to money. They might just be less. Oh yeah. But the ones right now, the early ones, those have at least 5 off. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Back here from Wayzata High School, Hogan Greenwood alongside Steve Bonsack. Start of the second half here in our late conference showdown between number 6 STMA and number 5 Wayzata. The Knights will start with the basketball here in this second half. They are in the road white, Wayzata in the home blue, and an early block from Hawkinson as she denies Bagalki on another three. Bagalki had 4 triples in that first half. She's got a dozen. Same starting 5 for both teams here to start the second half. It's Hawkinson, Burns, Day, Kieser, and Kelsenberg versus John Key, Bagalki, Walben, Erickson, and Hazelton for the Knights. Shot clock winding down. Here's Jonke. Picked up her dribble. Hazelton's going to have to make something happen. Erickson's not going to get it off. And a shot clock violation. That's going to be the 9th turnover of the night for the Knights. They had 8 first half turnovers. Meanwhile, Wayzata turned it over 10 times themselves. Very uncharacteristic of them. Credit to the Knights defensively. Wayzata has missed a few open shots as well. This first half was back and forth, and it's a 2-point lead to start the second half for Wayzata. Marin Day on the drive, had it knocked away, got it back, and puts it in. Marin Day is up to 8 points on the night. Hazelton into the corner for Walben. Jonke left open, and she puts in a 3. Kale Jonke's up to 15 points. That's a game high. Annika Kieser down low with the response. Erickson into the corner, and she threw it away. 10 turnovers for the Knights. Opening minutes here of the second half. And our top 6 showdown in the Lake Conference here on NSPN. Glad to have you in on this gorgeous Tuesday night in January. Marin Day, count it, and 1. And she'll have a chance at a 3-point play from the line. Bogolki picks up her second. Day short on the free throw. Burns the offensive rebound, but could not put it back. Jonke, quick push ahead, and Hawkinson knocks it away. Kaylin Foster back on the floor, along with J.C. Bryan. Walben and Erickson go to the bench. STMA trailing by 5. This Knights team just 2 years removed from winning a state title, led by Tessa Johnson, who is now thriving at the University of South Carolina and has a national title under her belt with the Gamecocks. And also Piper Carlson. They beat Hopkins a couple years ago in the Class 4A championship. Kale Jonke misfires from 3. Offensive rebound to Bogolki. She's short on the putback. A 3rd chance. A 4th chance as Hazelton's blocked underneath. And we're going to get a reach-in foul on Jonke. And head coach Ken Hamry is upset on the sideline. He wanted a foul underneath on the Hazelton attempt. Instead, it'll be the 2nd personal on Kale Jonke. And Kale Jonke's going to pick up 2 quick fouls here in a span of a minute. So STMA will take a timeout here with 15:30 to go. We'll step aside. Early minutes here of the second half. Wayzata leads by 5.
We are the Minnesota Star Tribune. We're not a paper, we're a fabric. One that can unite and sense, connect, frustrate, represent, and reflect all of us. It's the faces you may know. It's the voices you may not have heard. It's major, minor, urban, rural, left, right, and center field. Because all the state's a stage, and everyone plays their part. The Minnesota Star Tribune, the heart and voice of the North.
So 2 quick fouls on Kale Johnke. Now she's up to 3 personals, and Kent Henry was very displeased with the whistle on Johnke just a moment ago. So the Knights' best player is going to play with 3 fouls. Might have to keep her in as they trail by 5. Johnke's got a game-high 15 points. Bogalki still with a dozen, has yet to score in this second half. Just 2.5 minutes into the second here from Wayzata High School. Both teams have 4 timeouts remaining the rest of the way. Johnke will stay on the floor. Keyser fumbled the pass underneath. Kelsenberg, a short jumper is good. And a great design out of the timeout from head coach Julie Stewart. Those ATOs after timeouts, so crucial in the game of basketball, and Wayzata capitalizes there. They lead by 7 here at home. Johnke on a shot fake, step back 3. A little too strong, long rebound. She gets her own. Johnke, runner in the lane, is off the mark. And she hits the deck, and it's going back to Wayzata. And the Knights are going to bring some full court pressure here. Wayzata navigates it well. Keyser gets it across, picked up a dribble, and now here's Hawkinson. Burns posting up. Kelsenberg gets to the basketball. Burns did not get the whistle, and here comes Johnke. Bogalki thought about a 3. Hands off to Hazelton, and she puts it in out of the corner. Back to a 4-point game. Keyser had it knocked away, and it's last touch by the Knights. Wayzata will keep it. Burns will go to the bench, replaced by Lindsay Harvey. Just getting some coaching from head coach Julie Stewart there on the Wayzata sideline. Here's Hawkinson, watched by Bogalki, gets a switch on Hazelton. A mismatch inside, they get it to Kelsenberg, and she puts it off the glass. Katie Kelsenberg having a fine night, she's got 14. Foster on a handoff. Johnke stumbles and lost it. Up ahead for Hawkinson, Wayzata has numbers. Outside for Marin Day. She could not hit from 3. Rebound tap to the near corner. It's taken by Keyser. And they're going to say Keyser was out of bounds on the sideline, so it's going back to the Knights. STMA is really going to need Hazelton to come alive here in the second half if they want to have a chance to win this game. She's been held in check. Just 7 points for her tonight. And she turns it over there. That's already 4 second half turnovers for St. Michael Albertville. They're up to 12 in the game. Hawkinson blocked, and it's out of play. Wayzata will keep it. Sophie Hawkinson leading Wayzata into Hopkins High School to pick up their first win on the road against the Royals for the first time since 1998. She triggers in there and finds Annika Keyser for 2 more. And it's an 8-point lead for the Trojans here at home. 5 minutes gone here in the second half. Foster nearly traveled. Hawkinson went for the steal. Knights recover, but the shot clock's under 10. Foster on the drive. Blocked by Harvey. 5 to shoot. J.C. Bryan off on the jumper. And it's going back to Wayzata. St. Michael Albertville will take a timeout. They'll be left with 3. 12:38 to go. Wayzata leads 46-38. Talked about it quite a bit tonight, but it's a really big game in the Lake Conference. Both teams do have Minnetonka coming up on the schedule. Wayzata will travel to take on the Skippers on the road on Friday. Minnetonka ranked number 8 in the state. Trojans beat the Skippers here on this floor earlier in the year. Meanwhile, for STMA, they'll play on Saturday against the number 1 team in 2A, against Providence Academy in Madden Greenway, before they play Minnetonka on the road at Minnetonka High School on February 4th. Hawkinson calling for it. Short on a 3. Rebound taken by Marin Day, and she had it stripped by Erickson. Erickson had a notion for 3. Now it's Hazelton. Handing off for Bagalki. She's yet to score in this second half still. John Key pull-up jumper is off. Just 6 second half points through 6 minutes for STMA here in the second. Dump inside, Kelsenberg, 2 more off the window. Kelsenberg's got 16. It's a 10-point advantage for Wayzata. Outside, J.C. Bryan misfires from 3. Hawkinson looking to run. Hawkinson lost the handle. Keys her to the floor, keeps alive. Wayzata. Hawkinson. Ball to the floor. Erickson picks it up, and here comes STMA. Reach and foul at midcourt by the Trojans. Going to go on Hawkinson. That'll be her first. Sophie Hawkinson, 23 plus points in the last 3 or 4 games. The only game she didn't reach that mark, she had 19 points in the win against Hopkins. I believe it's a delay of game warning on Sophie Hawkinson. Hawkinson steps in front and steals the pass. Hawkinson, uncontested layup. Five second half turnovers for the Knights. It's been a long offensive drought for STMA on this end of the floor, and it continues as Foster missed on the jumper. Offensive rebound, second chance. Here's Hazelton. Short on a 3, another opportunity as STMA gathered the rebound, but it's stripped away by Kelsenberg. Backdoor look for Keyser, and she gets fouled on the interior. And she will be at the free throw line for the Trojans.
Fouls on St. Michael Albertville's number 25, Addie Hazelton. This was second. Team secured.
Marnday will go to the bench, replaced by Ellie Howard. Back on the floor is Haley Walben for the Knights. Keyser goes 2 for 2 from the stripe, and it's 52-38. Wayzata in control. Trojans outscoring the Knights 18-6 here in the second half. Backdoor look for Johnke, and a much-needed bucket for STMA, as Johnke is up to 17 points, and Kent Hamry will use the timeout here. Under 10 minutes to go. We'll step aside one last time. 9:55 remaining. Trojans lead by 2 here at home.
Support your teams and community with NSPN.TV. Enjoy exclusive coverage from Summer Town Ball to high school championships. Plus, feature stories and podcasts that bring you closer to the action. Stay connected with NSPN.TV, your neighborhood sports network.
Wayzata looking for their 4th straight win and trying to improve to 6-1 on the season here at home. Trojans have bounced back after that loss to Eden Prairie on the road, beating Edina, number 1 Hopkins, and number 9 Lakefield North. These two teams have split the season series over the past couple of years. Wayzata will be on the road to take on STMA in the final game of the season on February 21st. Still a lot to decide here in this ball game with under 10 minutes to go. Wayzata leading by a dozen. Hawkinson posting up, and that one spins out. Here comes Kaylin Foster into the front court. Hazelton being held 9 points under her season average right now. Foster on the drive, and she gets the whistle. Kaylin Foster, a freshman, averaging just over 4 points per game, put her head down and got herself a trip to the free throw line. Burns and Day return. Kelsenberg and Kiesler go to the bench. Katie Kelsenberg's had a tremendous game tonight, 16 points. Kiesler as well, contributing in many ways. Foster goes 1 for 2 from the line. Ellie Howard cutting to the basket, altered by Bagalki at the rim. Back comes STMA. Great look from Hazelton to John Keane. She's up to 19 points. Back to a 9-point game. Hawkinson penetrating kick. Harvey out of the corner, no. Tap back by Marin Day and a second chance for the Trojans. Hawkinson deep range 3, and she drills it. Big shot for Sophie Hawkinson. She's up to 16 points. This one knocked out of play by Wayzata. STMA looking to push in transition. Sophie Hawkinson just 4 points away from being Her 4th out of 5 games and 20-plus points. Hazelton tried to throw it off of Burns out of the corner, and she threw it right to Allie Burns. 14 turnovers for the Knights as Hawkinson draws the whistle. Kaylee Bogolki's now got 3 personals. Hawkinson knocks down the first. Keyser with a short stint on the bench replaces Lindsay Harvey. The reason why Harvey's been getting more minutes this year is she's been excellent on the defensive end of the floor. Julie Stewart really loves her length and experience as a senior. A big-time impact player off the bench as Hawkinson knocks down a pair. Back up to a 14-point advantage. Hazelton out of the corner, a little too strong. Defensive board taken by Hawkinson, ripped away by Bogolki, and we're going to get a tie-up. And the arrow is in favor of the Trojans. Knights will bring back the full court pressure here with 8:10 to go. Great break of the press there. Hawkinson getting it down low for Allie Burns. And she's up to 7 points. Here's Bogolki, a quiet second half, and she misfires again from deep. Hawkinson racing into the front court. Haley Walbin knocks it out of play. Haley Walbin knocked that basketball out of play. The officials are giving it to STMA. And now they finally changed the call. Boy, it happened right in front of the Wayzata fans in front of us. And they're making sure they had their voices heard. Martin will inbound for Wayzata. Back to live action. Hawkinson calling out the play up top. Burns picked up her dribble, needs some help. Keyser comes to get it. Marin Day down low for Kelsenberg, and she has 2 more. Did her work early, got position inside, and she's up to 18 points. Bogolki, it's been a rough second half for her. Keyser with the rebound, looking to go coast to coast for 2. Wayzata stretches the lead to 20. It's largest of the night. Foster looking for the answer, and she gets the whistle. Wayzata led by 2 at the break. They led 34-32. And they've held the Knights to just 11 second half points. J.C. Bryan back on the floor for head coach Kent Hamry. 6:56 remaining in this second half. Kaylin Foster goes 2 for 2 from the stripe. And Kent Hamry will use a timeout. We'll keep it here. Knights will be left with 1 timeout. 18-point lead now for Wayzata. Looking to improve to 5-1 in conference play, with a big one looming on the road at Minnetonka. That's been a great series over the years as well with the Skippers. Wayzata winning on this floor earlier this year. Minnetonka, of course, the defending state champions in girls high school basketball at the 4A level. In fact, both the boys and girls teams won last year for Minnetonka. But of course, some new faces with the Skippers this year. After Aaliyah Crump transferred to play down in Florida at Montverde, they got a young freshman in Ari Peterson, and that should be a good game coming up on Friday. STMA still trying to battle back, plenty of time. See if Wayzata can hold on here late. Down for Kelsenberg, and she will head to the line. Kelsenberg knocks them both down. 65-45. Wayzata in front. Here's Hazelton turning the corner and banking it in off the window. Just 9 points on the night for Abby Hazelton. It's been a tough game for her. Nice look, backdoor. Keyser cutting, lurking on the baseline, and Katie Kelsenberg found her. $12 points now for Annika Keyser as Hazelton couldn't answer on the other end. Burns trying to muscle it up, left it short, and the rebound taken by Hazelton. Haley Walben off on a 3. She hasn't taken too many shot attempts tonight. Wayzata turns it over for the first time in this second half after turning it over 10 times in the first. They've really cleaned up the giveaways here in the second. STMA looking to capitalize on the stop. Outside. And it's a 3 down for J.C. Bryan. She's been a nice spark off the bench. She's got 6 points. That's just her second triple of the night. Hawkinson left all alone, and she airmails it a little bit too strong. Back comes Kaylin Foster. And STMA throws it away. Backcourt violation. 7 second half turnovers for the Knights. Kelsenberg will go to the bench with those 20 points. Ellie Howard back on the floor along with Lindsay Harvey. Under 5 minutes to play in this second half. Howard trying to loop a pass over the top for Day. It's intercepted. Hazelton dribbled it off a foot. Able to be recovered by Foster. Foster baseline drive, picked up her dribble. Kale Johnke knocks down a jumper. Kale Johnke is up to 22 points. Her season high was 29 earlier this year. Back down to a 14-point game. Marin Day pulls the trigger and missed it. And the reach in on Hawkinson in the backcourt. It's the fourth team foul for Wayzata in this half. Second personal on Hawkinson. Kelsenberg just a short breather as she's back in. Bagalki on the drive. Active hands by Hawkinson. Bryan recovers into the corner. Bagalki. Rebound for Bryan, and she's fouled going for the putback. J.C. Bryan will go to the line. With the clock stopped at 3:29. Chance to cut the lead down to 12. So a 12-point game with under 3.5 to go. Number 31, Jensen Rogers, in for the first time tonight. 5'7" junior guard. Bringing the activity defensively here on this possession. Hawkinson probing on the perimeter. Kelsenberg fires a pass. Keyser patient in the post, but missed it. And it's last touch by the Knights. Wayzata will get a fresh 20 on the shot clock. Kelsenberg posting up. Harvey gets her the basketball, and she rolls it over the rim for 22 points on the night. Bagalki is blocked. Hawkinson, the second time this half, denying Bagalki on a three. That's how the second half opened up, as a matter of fact. Johnke spinning in the lane and gets the whistle. Kale Johnke will have a chance to add to her total tonight at the line with 2:40 to go. Number 45, Trinity Beekler, off the bench into the game for St. Michael Albertville as Johnke cashes in from the line. She's up to 24 points. Wayzata looking to close this one out with 2.5 minutes remaining. Hawkinson gets it back from Harvey. Bounce pass. Kelsenberg, it's been her night. She's got 24 points. Johnke partially blocked, and we're going to get a tie-up, and the arrow will keep it on this end of the floor. And Katie Kelsenberg, who had 25 points in the win against Buffalo, will have a chance to record a new season high if she can get another bucket. Kelsenberg knocked down a 3 early on in the first half as well tonight. Hazelton spinning in the paint. Rebound tap back taken by John Key. A little too strong, and Marin Day secures it for Wayzata. Hawkinson being hounded. Looking backdoor for Marin Day, who's all alone for 2. Wayzata's handled that full court pressure really well tonight as Marin Day's into double figures. 4 Trojans in double figures tonight. High arcing 3 is short from John Key. And it looks like Wayzata is going to hold on to win here at home. Keyser will drive, and that's blocked out of play by Hazelton. So Kelsenberg will end the night with 24 points. Hawkinson still in the game with 18 points. Dump it down for Burns, and another great assist from Wayzata. Allie Burns up to 9 points. And just a substitution timeout here for Kent Hamry as he will get some new faces on the floor for St. Michael Albertville. 1:07 remaining. Trojans with a great defensive second half here tonight. 25 second half points for the Knights. Hawkinson will end the night with 18 points. Won't quite get to that 18-point or 20-point threshold. But another W in the column for the Trojans. Renee Foster getting to the rim. That one in and out. Offensive rebound. The putback no good for Beekler. Outside in the corner. 3 is off the mark for Callie Muirfield. And Ella Goodnature has it for Wayzata. Final minute of play. Backcourt violation. That's just the second turnover in this second half for Wayzata. They really got things in check there in that category. Had 10 first half turnovers. Cleaning things up. And they're going to pick up a double-digit victory here at home. Brooklyn Bagalki into the game as well for the Knights. This is Renee Foster. Get it inside for Beekler. That's no good. Shot clock went off. The ball did hit the rim, and Kai Nash clears it for Wayzata. Trojan fans rise to their feet. A round of applause as the Trojans win it here at home. 75-57. Wayzata improves to 14-4 on the year. They're 6-1 on their home floor here this season. And Wayzata will be on the road next at Minnetonka on Friday. That will be a big one against the Skippers, looking for the series sweep. Wayzata now 5-1 atop the late conference standings. Meanwhile, STMA drops to 13-5 overall, 3-2 in conference play. Next up for St. Michael Albertville on the road, or actually back home, a community clash against the number 1 team in 2A, Providence Academy and Madden Greenway, before they play on the road at Minnetonka on February 4th. 24 points for Kale Jonke wasn't enough as the Trojans get contributions from Hawkinson with 18 and the leading scorer Katie Kelsenberg with 24. Well, that'll wrap things up here from Wayzata High School. Trojans victorious. Final score 75-57 for our entire crew. Steve Bonsack, I am Hogan Greenwood saying good night from Wayzata High School. Trojans win it here at home.